You won't be able to save everyone. You might not even be able to save yourself. Welcome home. That's the first thing you see when you open the game of Scarlet Hollow, entering you on a bus ride to a small coal mining town in North Carolina, aptly sharing the same name as the game. Now, you're here for the funeral of an aunt you never met, Perline. Now, your family, the Scarlets, pretty much built the coal mines in the town that went with it, but your mother, she rejected that legacy. She instead chose to move out west, starting a family and leaving her sister Perline behind to handle the mines. Now that Perline and your mother are dead, only two Scarlets remain, you and your cousin Tabitha. You've never met her, but you figured it was only right to help someone go through the pain of losing their mother, a pain your character knows all too well. But you'll soon realize everything in the town isn't exactly normal. The game Scarlet Hollow was released in 2019, and it comes out in chunks of chapters. Each chapter covers a day of the week leading up to your aunt's funeral, starting with Monday. The game style is in a visual novel with highly detailed art portraying each scene. But where the game truly shines is its content and the characters. In Scarlet Hollow, there are so many choices and routes to go down. How you choose to interact with characters directly shapes the world at hand. A lot of times, you think you would pick the right choice, but turns out that right choice is something that makes you fall and stumble, or vice versa. You pick the wrong choice, but it turns out, wait, is this wrong choice even bad in the first place? I might be able to redeem myself. I could do this, I could do that. And it stems from the fact there is really no wrong choice in the game. It's like real life. You stumble, but it might take you down a complete different route of something you've never seen before. And I mean, this makes you feel like the world is real and you can truly interact with it and the situations at hand. It's constantly stated by the two devs that in one playthrough, you only experience 15% of the game's content. And as they release the final two chapters for the last 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, I imagine that number would shrink even more. It's important to know that saying certain things about your character in the game can actually change your character's backstory and how they interact with others. For example, you could say to one character that your job was working in legal matters and affairs, and that can help you with a spoiler in the future. Or saying you're allergic to peanuts to someone who offers you a bowl of peanuts on train ride literally makes your character allergic to them, and then that goes down another route and changes dialogue in this one case where you can kind of bring it up. It's this meticulous detail that the husband wife dev team puts in the game that makes it just feel so real and alive. You can start how they see and react and relate to you. So the chart's right here, and over there that's your stupid shut cousin Tabitha too. The characters, they act like real people. They have this chart for you based on how you interact with them or even how you don't, how they hear about the stuff you did from other characters as well. Because they don't directly know you yet, but their opinions of you could always change. If you talk to them, they're going like, oh, wait, this is a good first impression. This is a bad first impression. They're actually like real people. Now, you can normally gauge characters' opinions on you based on their reaction, if they grimace or if they smile at things you say, their facial expression, their body language, all that. Now, it's important to note that chart you can't directly see, so you just kind of need to gauge and guess where you are. Though their opinions and how they talk and interact with you, sometimes if you ask the same question on two different runs and have good reputation with this character, bad reputation with this character, how they react changes, which is so cool to me. Now some characters might prefer someone who is more let's go with more insightful over someone more just reliable. And that's different for each character, like it is for people. Okay. And when selecting what the fuck is an expanse? No, I'm leaving that. Fuck it, I'm leaving this in. All right. So when you select responses, you get the explore option, and clicking this makes your characters say different things at hand without directly moving on to the next major dialogue. For example, say we're talking about grass. And I could be like, oh yeah, grass is cool, and we move on to the next subject. Or I could be like, I've always wondered why is grass green? And the character would be like, I don't fucking know. And you just get that little insight. Um, but it is important to note these explore dialogue traits also can affect things. A good example of this is my goat Tabitha. When you ask her too many questions early on, she at the beginning of the game she really doesn't like you. So like if you ask her too many questions, she gets agitated and straight up she will just like tell you to shut up and it just forcibly moves the conversation on. I talk to her some more. All right. Sure you don't want to stay alone. Don't know if talk me good night. Wait, what? Come back here. Oh, she's evil as fuck. Now, I want to talk about Tabitha a bit because she's the first character you meet, and she's a really well fleshed out and developed character. Now, eventually, you can kind of defrost that ice that she has around her if you keep trying to include her or get to know her better. Um, Now, this is not like a shitty visual novel. In a shitty visual novel, okay, all you gotta do is just agree with her on every front. And then she's like, wow, you're a nice guy. But no, Tabitha is the owner of the coal mines. She knows flattery all too well. And just because the player agrees with her on every front, she won't like that. That comes off as fake. So if you truly want to get want her to like care about your character, you need to butt heads with her at times. You need to call her out. You need to tell her if she's making a stupid choice and why. She's not perfect, but neither are you. So that's how you would get a genuine familial bond to take root. It's important to note this bond that I was talking about, most of the characters are this deep, this fleshed out, and have that much depth to them. That is not Tabitha alone. That's just one route you can go through. But I'll get the glaze out of the way. All right. I want to go back to the setting. Like I said before, Scarlet Hollow isn't exactly a normal town, at least not when you visit. Um, Things are very paranormal, very surreal. On the first day, you will see this, but throughout different contexts, depending on the routes you take. There's these little clay figures spotted in the woods, and they're capturing animals and making these cancerous, like tumors on their body. And things will get worse as it nears the time for the funeral. Um, you'll end up seeing ghosts, literal monsters, urban legends, just all kinds of wacky shit, you name it. And before I was talking about, oh, and you build bonds with these characters, you care about these characters. Well, like the opening lines say, you can't save everyone. You might not even be able to save yourself. In an interview with the devs, they talk about how they want the narrative choices to feel like they have an impact. And you, the player, whenever you're making an important choice, it feels difficult for you. The pair describes how they felt like they were in over their head multiple times, but in spite of that, they kept moving forward and even went back to improve upon the earlier parts of the game. And in my opinion, this is why this shit is peak. It's a master's class in game design. Keep it up type shit. How do I stop this? Okay, now this is a part where I need external sources. So in an essay by horrormatters.org, it talks about how horror can make the game more immersive. And quote, the key component to creating a good horror game is to keep things fresh. The moment you expect things to happen is the moment you stop being immersed. And I think that's true. I believe that Scarlet Hollow is able to keep the player's immersion and run with it. Like I said before, you can go down a route that you think would be the best choice, but just fall and fold when you face some unexpected adversity. This is definitely over 5 minutes, but I don't care. Okay, I don't bend in the face of peak. I buckle. Wait. I keep moving forward. My soldiers charge. The writing is fire, Professor Roberts. Please, please play this shit. All right, this story This is better than half the shit you assign us to read. I'm gonna be so honest with you. I'm gonna be so real for you. All right. I would not go through as much effort putting you on. I got the shirt. I got the shirt from another game that the same developers dropped. All right. This is an impossible level of glaze for me. You have not, you will not ever see this level of glaze coming from me ever again. Okay. I drew the fucking thumbnail for this video. Okay. I recorded this with love and consideration on Steam. All right. That game is $25. Your paycheck covers it. You can most definitely run the shit. Robertson, please play this shit. Let me put you on. You assigned us like 5 billion books to read. Let me assign you one game to play. How about that? How that work, twin? How that work, twin? Play the game.